Okay, so I have opened this design, and if I'd like to use it with the name drop and adding a bunch of different names underneath this logo or on top of the logo or wherever it may be, what I can do is utilize the name drop function. Um, in the program, it is designated by the double A or name drop. If you don't have this bar showing, if you go up to View, left click on View, then go to Toolbar, scroll over, and then down to name drop bar. Make sure there's a check mark next to it. So with it having a check mark, I do have that up here, and I'm going to left click on name drop. When I left click on name drop, I do have a table. And the table, you have different rows, you have A, B, and C, but you can add rows if you'd like, and also, I'm sorry, add columns if you'd like, and add rows as well. The ABC columns, if I'd like to right click, I can select insert a new section. Same thing with the rows, if I right click, insert a new name entry. Which allows me to add more rows. Now, right now you have about 25, and in A, that's going to be the first name, second name, third name, as far as on that line of text. If I'm only doing first names, typically I'll just stay within the A column here and just go down row by row. So here I'd like to do 5 names, and I'm going to start typing in the 5 names. When I type that in, I can hit enter and then arrow down, and it will go down to the next name. Enter, arrow down, and the next name. Enter, arrow down, next name. Enter, arrow down to the next name, and I'm going to put in my final name. And now I have all my names in here. With all of these names in here, I do have the settings for that section. And I don't have to be selected on the whole section. I can be selected on a single name, and it will change the options for everything in that section here. So settings for section A, I can do a vertical layout, which would put my letters vertical, and I can also have auto space. In this instance, I'm just going to leave no check mark in vertical layout. I just want that a horizontal layout. The second thing is going to be my auto space. That's going to automatically space the lettering, the space between each letter, and I usually like to keep that on auto. This is going to be then the size of my lettering, and again, I'm in millimeters. This is going to be, according to the capital letter, 25.4 millimeters is approximately an inch. So here I'm going to type in, here I want to do about 16 millimeters. The alignment mode, and I'm sorry, before we go to the alignment mode, you can type in your size, or you can use from the drop down as well. And here I'll just use 15. The spacing is grayed out because I do have auto space. Otherwise, I can define the spacing between each letter on each name. The alignment mode, I can have it left, middle, or right. Typically, I keep it on middle, and that is how each name is going to align it within this section. So every name is going to be centered with each other, which that's typically what I want, especially because I'm going to go ahead and center it underneath here as well. The font type, this is just your TrueType fonts, so you can use any TrueType font, or you can use the pre-digitized fonts too. I am just going to go ahead and I'll just choose an Arial font. Nothing special. I can bold and italic, same thing. As our sections or our settings within the lettering section. So I can bold it, I can italicize, whatever I'd like to do. I can change the text color. The way that this works, and I'll explain in a minute, is that the text color really doesn't matter because you will be setting that in the machine, and it's actually going to throw in color changes between each one. So I'll go ahead and press OK. After I press OK, it brings in my lettering. It does center it right in the middle of the design. I go ahead and hit Go. I'll go ahead and bring my lettering down here. What you see is only the first name. In addition, I'm going to left click hold and drag a box around everything. And then over here I'm going to choose Align Vertical Center. Make sure everything is lined up center. So I do see my first name, but up here you can see next to the AAA I have a drop down menu and it says 1 right now. If I left click on 2, you'll see Kathy. If I left click on 3, you'll see Jake, so on and so forth. Now this is all one file. So as soon as I choose to export it, what it will do is export the design and then the name. And the first name is Rob. Then it will advance to the next design with the next name, which is Kathy. And then it'll advance to the next design with the next name. So let's first save the design. So I'll go to File and I'll save as. And I'll just name this Laporte Names. And now I want to export it. So I'm going to go to File and Export, or I can also choose the export function right within my export icon. I'll choose Export To. I like Export To. It's a little bit easier to use. I'll save it to my desktop, and I'm going to name this Laporte Names. Now this is the DST file. I'll go ahead and hit Save. So now, let's see what it'll look like on the machine. I'll go to a new design, and then I will go to File. I'll go to Import, which I'm going to use the import icon. Left click on the arrow pointing down. I'll choose Import To. I'm in my desktop. There's the Laporte Names, and I'll hit Open. So, generate the stitches just for fun. Now what we see is each design and then the name. And then it starts a new design. And then the name. So what we need to do when we load it into the machine is we need to input all the colors, for each logo. So I will do my, my blue, yellow, white, dark red, light red, white, and then the name color. And then I will program a stop that the machine will stop before it starts repeating. Actually, I think, okay, so that's the black, I'm sorry. We can see that it has all the way down to here is where, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then before it stitches the 10th color, which is also the first color of the design, so it'll repeat. What it will do is we'll put on needle 10 a plus stop, and that's something that you would program in the machine. And I have a video on how to program stops in the machine. So we take this DST file over to the machine, we program the design with the name, and then we program a stop. And then go through each one and program a stop after each name. So that way I have all my designs. I've got 5 designs within one file. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. I also have a PDF of instructions, and if you do need to access it, just let me know as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helps, and if you need anything else, please give us a call, 636-724-6400.